Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Bad Guy from there. You already know I am your blue lock specialist. In this video, we will talk about the egoist Isagi Yoichi and how he develops as the ultimate game master. Also, please make sure to subscribe for the best blue lock content on YouTube every week. And also hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. And please consider watching my previous videos as well. Let's go. At the end of chapter 222, we saw that Isagi was struggling to understand the way Snuffy plays. And chapter 223 clearly shows us why. The reason why Snuffy's plays are ahead of everything Isagi can foresee is quite simple. Snuffy is not trying to steal anyone's light. Isagi even said it himself. Snuffy, unlike Lavino and Chris Prince, is not trying to score goals in order to enjoy some mere minutes in the spotlight. Snuffy has carefully crafted a set of strategies for Ubers, and most of the strategies we have seen so far share one thing in common. Whatever happens, make sure that the final pass goes to Barrow. Snuffy is on the pitch to make sure that the end goal will be reached. He is carefully making the team move the ball in order to move Bastard München's defense around with the aim of creating spaces that any decent striker could use. Snuffy's strategy so far can be summarized like this. We will pass the ball around, and in case the ball is lost, Snuffy makes sure to get back and the play continues with the aim of laying it on a plate so that Barrow can score. Also, since the Manchester City game, Isagi has evolved again on a mental level and now makes sure to factor in players' egocentrism when it comes to predicting their plays. When Snuffy came in, Isagi may have assumed that Snuffy would play like Lavino and Chris Prince and would have tried to score, except this isn't what happened. Isagi's assumption couldn't be more wrong. This is why every Snuffy plays seemed outside of his predictions. Having hit a roadblock, Isagi once again defaults to his usual strategy of carefully analyzing what's in front of him in order to come up with a new set of axioms to predicate his thinking on. In a couple of plays, Isagi now understands that Snuffy plays the role of a watchman, making sure that the team follows their tactics. That is what drives Snuffy. However, understanding that isn't enough. Isagi has no way of stopping Ubers and Snuffy because Isagi is currently feeling like the protagonist of this game. He thinks that everything has to go through him, and his understanding of that so far is that he has to be the one doing everything. Well, it didn't help much so far, did it? Feeling clueless, Isagi asks Noah what he can do to get out of this situation, and Noah's answer couldn't be more Noah-like. Allow me to digress a bit and give you a refresher about who Noah is as a person. Ego said it best. Noah came up from the mud and rose to the top. Along his journey, Noah did everything he could to reach his current status. Noah's professionalism as an athlete is the closest thing to perfection, and it is even shown when he first had a chat with Isagi. Everything Noah does is about football. There is a thought behind every action, and the sum of all of those is a step closer to his goal, being the best striker in the world. While some players just want to play football to make a good living, a mad lad like Noah actually wanted to stand alone at the top. Do you know what type of mentality allows you to do that? The discipline, the meticulosity, etc. All of those make Noah who he is, and is probably the reason why Noah does not feel the need to remind soon-to-be professionals that the game of football is a team sport. Team sport means you have to play as one. Even kids know that. So you think that the current best player in the world will feel the need to repeat fundamentals to soon-to-be professionals? Nah, it's never happening. The same way Noah will never tell Kunigami to pass to Kaiser if Kaiser is in a better position. Noah expects numbers. Bastard München has been winning so far, so he won't speak much to the boys about the way they play. And I understand some of you may not like it. It's fine, it's okay. Now let's get back to the subject matter at hand. Noah knows more than anyone that with Snuffy on the field, the power balance has been disturbed, so much so that Bastard München will actually need to play with synergy if they have any hope of stealing the ball and counter attack. The issue is there is a current throne war in the team, and it's up to each contender to boost the troops' morale, so to speak. Kaiser isn't much vocal, though we saw him speak a bit during the Manshine sitting game, but most of the time, the guy simply talks to the one feeding him balls, Ness. In Kaiser's mind, this is the way forward, as to him, nothing is impossible. Isagi pretty much does the same and only talk to those he's on good terms with. So, given the current status quo, there is literally no way Bastard München could change anything about the current state of the field. They can only suffer for 3 minutes and Snuffy will have to go out and the game will go back to be more balanced and Bastard München will obviously have more chances to score. So Noah's answer is exactly just that. I even found Noah way too talkative when he reminded Isagi that Ubers is well organized and Bastard München is a whole mess. I firmly believe that Noah expected Isagi and Co to hang on tight and defend with the skin of their teeth. And I'm sure he didn't foresee that Isagi's ego would respond quite differently. What are the 3 words Isagi repeats to himself? Endurance, waste, and overflowing. About endurance, Noah expects this to turn into a war of attrition and that Ubers will make a mistake that Bastard München can definitely take advantage of. About waste and overflowing, I believe Isagi understood it this way. Bastard München has enough good players to fight back. The issue is Isagi and Kaiser both try to be protagonists and try to do everything on their own. There is also a waste of resource in the sense that in this panel, we clearly see that Ness is doing nothing. Kaiser or Isagi could have shouted to him, which could have made it a 2v1 situation, i.e. Kaiser and Ness against Snuffy. I am more than convinced that when Noah said the following, it was aimed at Isagi and Kaiser both trying to be protagonists and both not communicating enough with their teammates. Remember, there is a throne war currently going on, and what should a king do? Make sure to get the best out of his troops. We have actually seen something like this before. Back in the second selection 4v4 battle, what did Isagi do? He asked Chigiri to use his speed to press whoever is on the ball. We have all seen how that tactical shift made things more complicated for Rin's team. Chigiri's pressing forced the one having the ball to hurry and make so that it was harder for Rin's team to make plays. A proof of that is the fact that prior to Isagi giving that instruction to Chigiri, the Red Princess had not managed to steal the ball even once. But after Isagi instructs him to use his speed to hound whoever is on the ball, Chigiri managed to steal the ball 3 times. Stealing the ball from Rin once and getting it out of bounds. The second time is the foul on Tokimitsu that causes the free kick from which Rin scores for the 4-3. The third time is when he takes the ball from Bachira in the dying embers of the game. Go and read that game again and I promise you I'm right. Does that mean Chigiri cannot think for himself? No. All it shows is that players like Isagi and Rin, at least back then, who aim to be the game masters, can get the best out of their team according to the current flow of the game. Rin also does the same after that. He was so aware that the state of the field had changed due to Chigiri pressing all over the place that he was the first one to notice that Tokimitsu still had enough stamina. So what did Rin do? He made use of it. Isagi was way too focused on Rin and totally ignored the other team players. He did not pay enough attention to them. Isagi instructing Chigiri to run everywhere did not forbid Chigiri to still be relevant on the offense. And a proof of that is, Chigiri is actually the one giving Isagi the assist for his back heel shot. So again, all Isagi did was giving Chigiri one simple task, one simple job. More importantly, when Isagi asked Chigiri to use his speed, it was not for his own glory. He was asking Chigiri to do that so that the team could have a chance to win. It's very important. That wasn't the egoist Isagi Yoichi trying to win on his own or trying to shine alone. Isagi asked Chigiri to do something so that the whole team could stand a chance. We even have another example of that. Back in the first selection, during the Team Z versus Team V game, Ryo's team was leading 3-1 and Bashira had just scored a marvelous goal. We can agree that up to that point, Raichi did not stand out much during that game. What changed? A simple instruction, an easy job. Isagi said the following. He communicates with Raichi and makes sure to praise his physique before asking him to do what he knows Raichi won't be happy about. Defending, or to be more specific, Isagi asks him to cover Ryo. The rest is history. He does the very same in this game. He asks Raichi to do a specific type of man marking in order to reduce Snuffy option, which will allow Isagi to have a more accurate reading of the flow of the game. Isagi is actually using Raichi for his own sake, his own glory, so that he can intercept the ball. And notice how he talks to Raichi. Isagi has that way of talking to people in a way that it will appeal to their ego. For Raichi, he emphasizes his dueling abilities and skills and even taunt him by saying, if you fail, you'll be a laughing stock. Isagi knows more than anyone how difficult of a task it will be to stop Snuffy. That's why he asked Raichi to do something still difficult but within Raichi's skills. If this keeps up, Raichi could even get into flow. When it was with Chigiri, Isagi mentioned his speed, and we all know that Chigiri is all about using his speed. He prides himself on that. For other players, when Isagi doesn't communicate, he designs plays specifically tailored for them. With Nagi, it was about sending a pass that only Nagi could receive, all for the sake of opening a path for his own goal. It's very important. This is the part where I think Isagi needs to improve on. Like we said at the beginning of this video, Snuffy is a strategist that doesn't feel the need to be at the center of every play. Quite the opposite of Isagi, who, even when he uses his teammate, it has to be for the sake of him controlling the flow of the game, for the sake of him getting the ball back, or for the sake of him scoring a goal. If only Isagi could break this fundamental axiom, I am sure he could see even more possibilities on the field. Snuffy has been shown to be Uber's cleaner and watchdog who recovers loose ball and allows his team to follow their predefined tactics. We even see how Snuffy's selflessness and humility allowed him to foresee the event that he could be marked. Yeah, that's right. The great Snuffy even had a contingency plan for when he could be stopped. Has Isagi ever had one? Except for that play at the end of the Manshine City game or the end of the 4v4 against Rin? You see, Isagi has to learn that he isn't a god. He can only do so much on his own. He has to learn when to get lost in the crowd. It's okay for others to shine. His adversaries can actually outsmart him in some way, and Isagi better have at least one contingency plan. Isagi needs to understand that being a game master at times will mean to do the dirty work, covering the team weak spots to allow others to shine. And he has to know that doing that won't take anything away from him as a player. We actually saw Isagi play like this at the beginning of the manga. He was quite playing like Snuffy right now. During the game Team V versus Team Z, Isagi is able to visualize a play where the only thing he has to do is to help his teammates keep the ball and nothing else. Sometimes less is more. Isagi's IQ is already high. but I think his sense of protagonism is way too strong at the moment. He is reducing his option quite significantly. Isagi has already been shown to be able to use his teammates without talking to them, so I wouldn't put it past him to do the same in this Bastard München team. If Isagi can tone it down a bit with his egocentrism, he will be able to visualize plays where all his teammates could be at their best, even if that means Isagi will not shine. He will have reached the next level for sure. I firmly believe that the piece Isagi will learn during this game is just that. His IQ is already good, even on par with professionals. All he has to do is watch and learn from Snuffy. The funny thing is, like I said, Isagi has already done this before. That's it for the video, guys. Thank you if you watched it so far. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and please watch out for the next video, because in that one, when the new chapter comes out, I will dissect the whole play like I usually do, and I will tell you what you definitely missed. Peace.